Hi FlossTube, my name's Mel and this is my channel Patchy Pony Stitcher. Today is the 28th of February and today is a FlossTube Extra. It's all about Maria Phinney by Shakespeare's Peddler. I've recently returned back from the Blue Mountains in New South Wales where I spent an awesome weekend with some great fellow cross stitchers and just generally good human beings, and it was good just to chill out, stitch, laugh and just enjoy each other's company. So at Christmas time, Jess, our friend, sent three of us a copy of Maria Phinney 1832 by Shakespeare's Peddler as a Christmas gift, which was really nice to have something under the tree that I had no idea what it was. So that was a lot of fun. So we caught up recently, well, just recently, because I was heading up to New South Wales for the Taylor Swift concert and the three other ladies are from New South Wales. So we caught up in the Blue Mountains for a couple of days and decided to start Maria Phinney together. So it's our Phinney Friendship Cell, or as I'm going to title this video, Phinney 4 Ways, because we all started it, but we've all started it slightly differently. So I'm going to insert a video here of all the starts before we actually commenced any stitching, and show you all the different fabrics and flosses that we've selected, just to see the variety of how we've all selected our different materials. So I'll pop that in now. So this is the chart, Maria Phinney 1832, gifted by the lovely Jess to all of us for our Sal. So this weekend we're all together and we're starting it, and I'm going to give you a run through of what we're all starting it on. So first of all, this is Jess's fabric, which is with the called for thread. So we've all gone for something slightly different. Now Jess is using a whoopsie daisy and it's called Whisper Grey Linen, and it's 36 count with all of the called for threads, which is a mix of different, so we've got classic and we've also got some weeks. The next one is Emily's. And Emily is using also a whoopsie daisy in light taupe 40 count. And we have a mix of the called for, no, we've got all the called for threads as well. So both ladies are using the called for threads, but again, they are slightly different being over diets. So one is on 36, one is on 40. And the next is myself, and I am using a 28 count Zweigart even weave, and I'm going to be doing 1 over 1 or 2 over 1 on this fabric, and I'm not sure yet. I've got to do some test stitches, and I have got some of the called for, including some of the called for DMC and some of the called for weeks, and the rest I've used is what's from my stash. So I've got some Victoria Motto, and I've got some other weeks and other classic colour works in there as well to sub out, and my crinkly DMC. And finally, this is the called for fabric, keeping in mind that's the photo, so it's a bit darker than what the photo looks like. And Linda is using the fabric, which is Weeks Dye Works Straw, but she is doing it in a 46 count. One brave lady, I can't even focus on that. And we've got a combo of threads and silks for Linda. So we are going to start this today, and I will check back in. And show you our progress at the end of it before we head home and continue. Quite a bit of variety there, isn't there, with all the different fabrics and flosses. So it's going to be interesting to see how they all turn out in all their different sizes. So now what I'll do is we stitched for about 24 hours on Maria Phinney together, just to get a good kickstart on our cell. So I'll pop in just before we packed up and went home. This is where we got to, so I'll pop that in here. After 24 hours of stitching, I'm going to give you a progress update of Maria Phinney. We're going to start with Jessica on the 36 count. Called for colours. Jessica's Boo Boo was the colour choice for the alphabet. She picked the wrong colour, but it's actually worked in her favour. The next one is Emily's on the 40 count, and Emily's a centre starter, which is the tree. So she's got a ways to go, but good variegation. And that's the called for thread, isn't it, Em?
Yeah.
Then the next one was mine on the 28 count Zweigart even weave, and again I've changed the colours of the alphabet, and I'm doing 1 over 28, And finally, we have Linda's on the called for, but in a 46. And and some of the threads are different. But Linda's alphabet is probably more so in the correct colouring than the other two because she's got the dark fabric. So we will check back in a couple of weeks with more progress. We all had a great time stitching the same project together. I don't think I've done that before with other people, like all sat down together and started together on the one project. So hopefully we'll keep up, and I'll give you updates in my regular floss tube, and I'll pop in photos of where the other three girls are with their Maria Phinney, just to see how they're all coming along. And hopefully we will all get together in October again for the Daisy Chain Stitchery retreat, which I'll link below, because if you haven't been, it's worth checking out. And we'll bring our four Maria Phineys back together, and I'll be able to take another update progress video for you to see how they're going along. Now, not only did Jess buy this beautiful chart for us to share, but the girls bought gifts as well. So Linda bought gifts for us, these beautiful little pin cushions, which are just gorgeous, which will be great for my EPP. Some lovely hand cream and a beautiful bee zipper pull, which I'll be able to add. I'm going to add that to my Maria Phinney stitch bag as part of my Phinney friendship sale. And Emily made these gorgeous patch and hatch pin cushions as well with some EPP, which is such a great idea. I just love it. So that will make an appearance on my decor shelf with my other stitching and all my other favourite little bits and pieces. Now, one of the friends, Linda, was very happy to get in front of the camera. So I thought I'd do a little update, well, not an update, give you a look of what Linda's stitching. She's got some beautiful works and also some embroidery. So I'll pop that in here, and you can meet Linda from Linda and Leroy on Instagram. And I will also link her Instagram down below if you'd like to go and give her a follow to see how she's progressing with her project. So I'll pop that in here. Future Mel jumping back in here because past Mel didn't look at the footage before the editing process. So I'm just going to give you a sound warning because the video is quite loud. We're in a home that has floorboards, so you might just want to turn your volume a little bit down if you've got earbuds in. And also looking back at it now, I think we were quite merry. We'd probably had a few wines, so apologies for the silliness coming up. As promised, here's my multi-crafter friend, Linda from Linda and Leroy.
Hello.
Now, as I told you before, we're on a stitching retreat, which means lots of stitching, lots of drinking, and lots of fun, and lots of giggles.
Yes.
So what I'm going to quickly show you this evening is a few of our stitches that we've been doing, because there's two people that won't get behind the camera, in front of the camera.
Yes.
Two people. Okay.
Yes.
So we have
Jess and Emily.
They won't get in front of the camera, so we're going to show you their stitching.
Yes.
So the first one I'm going to show you is what Emily's been working on, which is the Blackbird Gardens Anniversaries of the Heart. Now, you may remember I actually overtook one of Emily's stitches and I made it into a drum because she was going to throw this out. And I'm like, no, all that stitching, not happening. So what Emily's decided to do this time is, rather than stitch it all on one, she's going to stitch, how many pieces are there, Em? 9?
I think it might be 12.
12 in the series. So there's going to be 12 individual pieces, and she's going to stitch it together, or she's going to get someone else to stitch it together because she's a bit chicken, into a quilt size. No, so there's going to be 12 pieces, and she's going to have someone finish it for her into a larger piece. So I'm going to show you where she is at the moment. The first one is the number 1, which has it got a name on it?
Yeah, Snow Garden.
Snow Garden. Now, these are not mine, so I have to be very careful. 40 count?
Yep. So that one is Fox and Rabbit Salt Bush.
So all of these are going to be on different fabrics. All 40 counts?
Yep, and they're going to be personalised.
Personalised, but they're all going to be 40 counts. So they're all going to be roughly round. Yeah, I'm not going to show you the chart. They're all going to be roughly around the same size. So this is where Em is up to on the Snow Garden. Okay, so the next one that Em has fully completed is the bonus chart on number 7. And this is also 40 count, fox and rabbit.
No, fibre on a whim.
Fibre on a whim.
Brown sugar.
Now I just want to give you a comparison so we can see the contrast in the fabrics. So it's not going to be too contrasty, it's going to be complementary of each other. That one is completed. And then the third one that's been started is A Wish for You.
Oh, it hasn't started.
No, this is the next one that will be started. And in years to come, I will show you the fully finished.
Yes.
But they're all going to be personalised. Now the next one I'm going to show you is The Lord's Prayer by Lila Studio or Leela Studio, depending on. And what's this stitched on, Em?
Fibre on a whim, brown sugar again. Oh no. I think that might be avocado.
40 count?
Yes.
It's definitely a fibre on a whim.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it is fibre on a whim, brown sugar. Sorry.
Very petite.
Yeah.
And are these called for?
Yeah. It's just DMC.
Yeah.
It's not just DMC,
Sorry.
it's DMC.
DMC.
Now we're going to move on to Jess's stitching. Mojo Stitches, the Humble Sampler. And what's this stitched on, Jess?
Mojo Stitches.
It's a number 12 stitch co.
And what count?
36.
36. No ironing done. Slacker.
No.
And is this a called for?
Yes.
So we've been working on these projects this weekend. Some of, partial.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Now, have we got all the charts for? or is
No,
this-
that's the next one.
Okay, so Jess is doing selected prairie schoolers. This looks like an Ada, is it?
Yep.
And is this hand dyed by
Leanie. Crafty Leanie.
Crafty Leanie? So 1980,
85.
85 and
2014.
the next one, oh, that's the 2014 one there.
Yep.
And what's the next one that you're going to be doing?
2012.
Is this guy?
Yep, that's that guy.
And what are you going to do with these? Are you going to make these into ornaments?
No, they go in a frame.
Frames?
Yep.
And it will be one per family member, so there'll be 4 in total.
Yep.
And some of them, and this is the sulky, isn't it, Jess?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sulky.
So that's actually the sulky.
And it's non-prairie school colours, and they actually pop on the blue quite nicely.
Yeah,
So it's the prairie schoolers. Now this is where she starts showing off. Eliza Martha Linfort. This is the design or the chart. And what are we stitching this on?
That was the call faller as well.
40,
No, that's 38.
38. 1/1.
No, it's 1/2.
Good grief. I don't know how you see that. And called for threads.
In the DMC.
DMCs. So we've got, I'd say halfway.
I love that blue.
It's just stunning.
Yeah, really pretty.
And the last one we're,
Yeah.
whoops, is sharing is a Carriage House. I haven't seen this one
No,
before.
I haven't seen this one either.
Carriage House Samplings Deer House. Is what? No, this is a 2013 copyright. And what's this one stitched on?
That's a daisy.
Whoopsie daisy.
Whoopsie
Daisy.
daisy.
And
It's
is it a
the
36?
count.
I'm just going to fold that in half again.
But just as 2/2 on the 36 count, so it's a really plump, full
yes.
stitch.
I'm just going to bring that in a bit closer.
It's beautiful.
And what's the blue? Is that called for?
Yes, it's called for.
Because it's a nice variegation actually on that one. What's the blue called
I
for?
can't read without my glasses.
Midnight. I don't know what company it is. Is it on MPS? Is that the?
Is it a silk?
Yeah. I love that blue actually.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
All right. So Linda from Linda and Leroy on Instagram.
Yes, Linda_N_Leroy.
Leroy.
Yes. So, okay, sure. So my first one is actually part of a sale that Mel and I started on the
Pretty Peacock Sal.
What date did we start it? Was it
It's 1st of November.
November? It was
I
1st of
think.
November, yeah. So we're doing different designs, but there's like, we realise there's like, I mean, there's so many
Peacocks.
designs with peacocks in them, so you can do any peacock. So the one that I'm doing is a Twin Peak Primitives peacock sampler, and I am doing mine. This is in my peacock bag.
And where's your bag from?
So this bag was actually made by Simply Narelle on Etsy, and I gave her the fabric. So I actually sent her the fabric.
Is she Australian?
Yeah, she's Australian. So I sent her the fabric, and then she made up this bag for me, because I like to theme my bags with my stitch.
And did you choose the inside fabric too?
I did. I gave that to her. Yeah. So I supplied all the fabric.
And she's happy to do all the sewing for you?
Yeah. Yeah. So she has her own bags as well, and then can do custom bags.
Yes. I'll link her in the drop down below.
Yeah, it's a great little option actually. So then this is what I've done so far.
I love this one.
So I haven't actually hit a peacock yet. I think that's about to come in here. I was debating because this house is so huge, so I thought I'll start the house and then I can kind of then pivot between the peacock and the house and break it up a bit. This is on a 40 count. It's called Misty by Paddock Lane Designs, and I have subbed. It's DMC. And it's like 90% called for, but as you can see, it's very muted. I was expecting quite a bright colourway, and it's really quite muted, but I do like it.
But once you get to the blue peacocks, you might find that pops a bit more.
And that's the thing. So I'm going to just so these are the blues, which I love, but I did sub this colour because it's actually, I think it's 3799 was called for, which is a chocolate brown, and to me that's grey, and I wanted a grey alphabet, so I've subbed that. So just a couple of
And
things.
what
I'm
count
subbing.
is that?
It's 40 count.
40 count.
Yeah, so I do 1/2 on 40 count, which is most of my stitching is that now.
It's just stunning. You're well ahead more than what I am on the Pretty Peacock
I was
sale.
saying I'm doing with Go this year, but I'm doing it a bit different. So rather than have a specific goal for each month, I'm actually just having them as focus pieces. So however much time I have to put, I've got the 2 numbers that get called. Those 2 project bags go on my craft desk, and it's just if I'm got time to stitch, they're my first ones that I go to
before anything else.
Yeah, so that's and funnily enough, that was my Whip Go number for this month of February.
Funny that.
I know. I promise I didn't read that.
I need to catch up.
And then the other one that I bought with me, which is my Whip Go, is actually Plum Street Samplers Ghoul
Again,
Time.
not one that I've seen.
Yeah, oh, okay.
No, I haven't seen
But
that
you're not
one.
a massive Halloween.
I'm not a Halloween stitcher.
I love the Halloween stitch. I don't know why. We don't even really celebrate it, but I love Halloween stitching. So this is Ghoul Tide Welcome. So this is again on a 40 count. It's actually a Bestitch Me. I think the colour is Portobello.
Stunning.
I'm pretty sure it's Portobello. So it's a very sort of mottled green purple fabric, perfect for Halloween.
Yep.
And I am subbing all of the colours for this. So this is called for in NPI Silks. Again, they didn't, when I was looking at the colours, the DMC conversion, they didn't really reflect the picture, which I love. So I'm using, which seems very odd, I'm using a lot of cottage garden threads.
The Australian brand.
And Our Forest Embroidery. So I bought the Our Forest Embroidery kit for Alice in Wonderland, which I'm actually not going to stitch. And funnily enough, so I'm using those threads. So a lot of these threads are actually Our Forest Embroidery, funnily enough, which you would never pick that really for that. But yeah, I've taken out the
So which ones are the cottage gardens?
So Cottage Garden is going to be the house. So I'm doing the navy. This one here, which is going to be
variegated.
I've just started, so that's going to be the house colour. But yeah, all of the vines and these the orange and yellows and things are actually the Our Forest Embroidery from Alice in Wonderland.
Yep. And how long have you been with the Stitch Me fabric subscription?
So I don't do the sub. I've done a couple of the Friday night fight nights.
Yes, I've done a few of those.
A couple of those, and then I've also just placed an order.
But the mottling on that is unreal.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous.
Really pretty. And I love their neutrals as well.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I've got a few of hers.
Really pretty.
Yes.
So, yeah, I love that fabric to stitch on.
And as I showed you earlier in our sale, we've looked at, so we've pulled the DMCs for our Maria Phinney?
Oh, Maria Phinney.
Maria Phinney.
Maria Phinney.
So when you pull the DMCs, it can sometimes be completely different to what the overdyed's for. So colours can change so much just by pulling different threads.
Yeah, and I prefer to go, like the reason why I generally pick patterns is because of the picture.
Yes.
So, and it's the colours necessarily more so than the design.
Yes.
So if it's way off, I will actually sub and try and pull colours truer to the picture.
And like, you know, we've all got massive stashes, so it is good to be able to use up what you've got in your stash.
Yes.
If you don't have the called for.
Yeah. Well, once
Now,
I knew
you've got to show your bling for this
the
one.
bag.
I do love your project bag bling on this.
So this bag is one of the Philand 69. So this is an Andrea bag. And the fob that I put on this is actually a fob from the Primitive Hair. So I did.
Cute.
It's so cute. So this is from the I did the Practical Magic design. I don't know if you've seen that from the movie. Practical Magic is one of my favourite movies.
Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock.
Yes.
Yep.
So I've done that cross stitch, and then you had the option of buying like pins and scissor fobs and whatever. So that's actually I think it's technically the scissor fob.
I do love it.
So that goes on my Halloween bag.
I do like a bit of witches and spooks and spells. I'm just not a Halloween stitcher.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a bit of fun. So yeah.
Now, Linda has been doing a little bit of, well, not a little bit, maybe a big bit of embroidery through the Cruel Gobelin in Sydney.
Yes.
In
Kalara.
And Linda's been going to a class for a little while, so she's going to give us a look at a sneak peek of where she's up to with which particular project is it called?
It's called A Stitching Story. Let me actually just take that out. You can see that.
So that's the design.
Karen John is the designer's name, and she runs workshops through the Cruel Gobelin.
So you've been doing embroidery for a little while. This isn't your first crack at it, is it?
I've kind of dabbled with lots. I do a lot of, I guess, all sorts of needlework crafts, really. I do a lot of quilting with applique. I do tapestries.
Where's her bag, Em? And I'll just quickly show
Oh,
the bag. Like, just a dabble.
thanks. So this one's A Stitching Story, which you sort of jump all over.
Before you go and show that, let's just show you the dabble.
Okay.
This is the dabble. So this is one of the finished FFO products.
Yeah.
That Linda has popped onto just a canvas bag to be able to use the design. And this was just learning stitches, wasn't it?
So this is actually a pre-printed panel from a woman called Sarah Felke. And she does a lot of, she's a quilt designer, and I've done a lot of several of her block of the month quilts. And I always loved this design. This is a quilt. This is actually a huge quilt, and I loved it, but I just didn't want to do another big quilt at that point. But I loved the design.
So she
released this as an embroidery panel.
So she's just had a dabble, just a dabble.
So then I bought the embroidery panel, and I thought, what am I going to do with this? And then
these are just like shopping bags that we buy.
I literally bought that off eBay.
And what Linda's done is stitched it on.
Backside,
I'm going to show you backside. We all like a good backside. But it's all safe and secure. It's not going to come undone.
Yeah.
And it's just a shopping bag, really, that you can just transport into a lovely project bag.
Yeah, it's a great bag for when I go
that's just
to
a
my
dabble. That's just a practice.
Yeah.
Now
It's
show
a play.
Now show the good stuff.
Well, this is which way is it up? Okay. So this is my version so far. I don't know what you can see there.
Can you see all that, Jess? So we've got different squares, so it's all sort of been gridded.
Yeah.
And you've traced, like I can see you're working on the next one where there's a tree being traced into that brick.
Yeah.
And each particular panel or square has got different stitches.
Yeah, it's different embroidery stitches. It's essentially sort of like a
learning piece.
It's a sampler, really, I guess, because it's about, how many stitches did you say, Em?
Approximately 70 odd.
There's about 70 different embroidery stitches. So it's everything from, French knots and lazy daisies right through to palestrine something or other.
EPP.
Yes.
EEP.
Yeah. Depending on who you're talking to. But yeah, there's all sorts of stitches and, and it's a wonderful way to use up variegated threads as well. I know often...
But also some beautiful fabrics that you may not get the usage.
Yeah.
Like because you do a little bit of quilting, a lot of quilting as well. So you've got all these beautiful fabrics that you can use up.
Scraps. Yeah.
So you're using up your scraps for gorgeous.
Yeah. So that's sort of a labour of love at this point.
And what do you think you'll do with this once it's finished?
I'm going to do a wall hanging. I'm going to. It's the size of it. The finished size is going to be 60 by 60. So you could turn it into a cushion, like a large European cushion. But I will.
Can you see all that?
I'll do a wall hanging for that one.
And what's this stitched onto?
It's a linen. I'm not sure of the name.
So it's not a stitching linen.
No, it's too fine.
Yeah,
so you wouldn't. This is an embroidery.
Yeah,
linen.
you wouldn't cross stitch on this.
No, not at all. No.
And pretty much it's freehand, isn't it?
It is, yeah. You just trace the design,
And what
then
threads are you using on this?
It's a combination of cottage garden threads. You actually use a lot of Pearl 8 predominantly. So there's different companies that do Pearl 8. There's Suspargo, DMC. I've got some.
I'm going to show
my
you.
gosh, I think Weeks Dyeworks do some Pearl 8
Look
as
at
well.
these sheep. They're all French knots.
Yeah, I actually really like. Some people hate French knots. I actually really like them.
Well, when you get the result like that, I'd love them too.
Yeah, I like them.
It's just
But
stunning.
yeah, there's definitely some stitches that are not my friend. And
Which ones don't you like?
Well, they're not on here yet.
Oh.
I'm avoiding them. That's why there's blanks.
But you might become really good
Yeah.
friends with them once you've
We'll
completed
see.
it.
Yeah, there are some that I find really challenging. But
Where's the little birdhouse I saw before?
this one here.
Yes, the birdhouse is also super cute. And what stitch is that one?
There's a combination because there's some stem stitch, back stitch.
Well, I think the bunny should be next.
Yeah, there's a really sweet little bunny that's so I don't know if you can see the bunny, and he's full of chain stitch. It's like a chain stitch that you sort of feed into each other, and then the tail is a Turkish something or other. And you
it's
actually
speaking another language
yeah,
to me.
you actually make it like a fluffy stitch. You
Yeah.
use like a particular brush, and you actually rough it
So
up.
a bit like now it's going to escape me. What's the fluffy one that we use in cross stitching called? The whisper. Is it like a whisper?
Oh yeah, well you basically use just normal thread, but the way that you stitch it with a loop, and what you do, and then you cut through the loop so it's all kind of ended, and then you
So
rough
how
up
does
that.
it not fall out?
Because you've anchored the stitch.
Anchored it, right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's all to do with how you kind of do a big loop, and then you anchor it, and you do a loop, and you anchor it.
Yep.
And then you cut all the ends, and then you rough it up.
So will
It's
this be
really
finished
cute.
by the Daisy Chain Stitchery retreat in September?
Heck no.
But can we have an update?
Yeah, I definitely will work more on it, but I don't want to have a timeline on it because
No.
I just know it's.
So you'll get to see an
It's
update
so
on this. So
yeah.
hang on, let me do this.
Okay. Oh gosh, no.
This is the before shot, just so we can,
This is accountability.
yes, accountability.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I can screenshot that, and then we
Alright.
want to see the progress in
Okay.
September.
Done.
Now I'm going to link Daisy Chain below, so if you haven't heard about the Daisy Chain Stitchery retreat,
Which is how Mel and I first met each other in person.
yes,
So we
we all met each other in person, and yeah, well, Mittagong, but we all met together as a foursome
Yes.
at Daisy Chain. So if you haven't been to a stitching retreat before and you're in Australia, check out the link below because I cannot highly more recommend a retreat.
Yeah, it's
like
amazing.
Daisy Chain.
Amazing. Yeah.
And it's in the Hunter Valley.
Yeah.
Wine, stitching, and
Tick, tick.
Teresa.
Tick, tick, tick.
Tick, tick, tick. Lovely. All right. So I'm going to show you in a couple of moments our update from Maria Phinney, and that will be maybe 24 hours of stitching.
Yeah.
So I showed you all out where we started, and I'm going to come back and show you where we've finished for the weekend. Now, as always, when you're filming with someone new or filming together, there's going to be bloopers. So if you want to stay to the end, I will pop some bloopers in, and I might also, if you're lucky, pop some Taylor Swift footage in there for you. Now, I will be back soon, maybe in the next week or so, with a regular update of my whips and other bits and pieces. So I look forward to seeing you really soon. Bye, everyone.
Okay.
Whoops. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
You know the bloopers are going in, don't you?
Oh no.
Okay. As promised, here's my friend, my multicolostrum.
Where am I looking?
Wait till I put their butts on floss tube. Girls. What up? Nothing.
The memories that we made here tonight in Sydney. I'll be your host this evening. My name is Taylor. We will leave the Christmas lights until January. It's our place. We make rules. There's a dazzling haze, a serious thing about you, dear. Haven't known you 20 seconds, 20 years. they like the acoustic songs tonight? Do you think they're gonna like it? It's like a conversation in my own head with myself. And so I just wait all night to see if I've done a decent job. By the way, do you know how cool it was when I was singing Blank Space? And I was like, boys, wait, can we just do it again? I'm like, boys only want love if it's torture. Oh, that was so cool when you did that. I was hoping that you would, and then you did. It was great. Anyway.